Hello everybody. Welcome to another Monday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm so happy to have you join me. So tonight we are going to be using the Sweet Strawberry Bundle. So wait until everybody gets in. Give them just a few minutes. Oh, let's take off the sound, because I don't want to hear that. I don't need a echo. All right. So, I'll wait a few minutes and see who gets in here. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Laura. So happy you could join me. Let's see. It was nice stamping with you over the phone today. I enjoyed that very much. Let's see if comments are going to scroll. I saw somebody else having difficulty with the comments scrolling on Facebook. So we'll see if it's going to work or not. Give everybody just a couple of minutes to pop on. I'm going to go ahead and cut some paper for the first card. And I think, oh, there it is. My measurements I moved. So I'm going to cut a 3.5 by 5.5 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock, or basic white. I actually have Whisper White still left, so actually I'm going to do this at 5 1/4. I'll save myself a little bit of work. Okay, then I'm going to take a piece of the Pattern Party. I'm going to cut this down to 2 inches by 5 1/4. And those are our pieces that we're going to need. Okay. All right. So it's been about 3 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we'll be using the Sweet Strawberry Bundle, which includes the Sweet Strawberry Stamp Set and the Strawberry Builder Punch. And that can be found on page 43 of the new 2021-2022 annual catalog. This is a distinctive stamp set, so you get beautiful results with the stamping. All right. So before we actually get started, Tracy notified me today that these were in her mail. So here they are. The brand new celebration catalog, which goes from the 3rd of August to the 30th of September 2021. And we have the mini catalog, the July to December 2021 mini catalog, which also runs the 3rd of August to December, till the 3rd of January 2022. Okay, so it's beautiful. Demonstrators get to start pre-ordering from this catalog on Thursday, July 1st, so that's an exciting day for all of us. Let's see who's joined us. I see there's 2 more. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. And apparently my comments are not going to scroll. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, no. There we go. Cynthia's on. Hello. Hello, Cynthia. Glad you could join us. I was just showing the new catalogs that I just received in the mail today from Stampin' Up. I can't show you the inside, but I can show you the outside covers. So that'll give you some ideas of what might be inside. Sneaky peeks. I'll be ordering on July 1st, and hopefully I will have the few things that I will order on July 10th at our monthly crop. So I'm going to set those aside. And hello, Mary. Thank you for watching. All right, so for those of you who stepped in a little bit late, we're using the Strawberry Builder Punch and the Sweet Strawberry Stamp Set. You can get this as a bundle, and it's on page 43 of the annual catalog. So let's start with our first card. I'm going to start, I cut a piece of basic white cardstock at 3.5 by 5 1/4, and a piece of the Pattern Party Host DSP at 2 by 5 1/4. I'm going to take the basic borders die, and I'm going to line this up on my grid paper, and I'm going to place this here and try to get that as even as I can. And I moved my Post-it tape, so let me get a new piece, and I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm going to cut this. Give me one quick minute. All right, so that's done. I can lift this off. Set my Post-it tape aside to use later. Sometimes it leaves just a little bit of a residue, so I take my little adhesive eraser and take that off. Okay, so now I'm going to hope this works. I'm going to move this up a little bit so maybe you can see the corner of my grid paper. Yep, there we go. All right, so I'm going to take my Designer Series paper, and I am going to put this at the 4-inch mark. You guys, if that's showing up too dark on your screen, let me know. Mary, I'm glad you love this bundle. So I'm just going to lay this at the 4-inch. Oh, wait a minute, before I do that, sorry. I'm going to take and put some Stampin' Seal right along the left-hand edge. I'm going to line this up on my paper at the 4-inch mark. And then I'm going to take the scalloped piece I cut, and I'm going to lay this in the corner of my grid paper. Lay that down straight. Make sure it's right there where I want it. Line that up and give it a press. Now I have one piece. Okay. Now I have just a tiny bit of a little edge here. So I'm going to fix that with my trimmer just to make sure it's all exactly even the way I want it. Do the same thing across the top. All right, so you can always fix those edges so that everything lines up perfectly. So this is the beginning of our card. All right. So with this then, we are going to get a card base of pale papaya, and I've cut mine hot dog style, which basically means I cut it in half at 4 1/4 on the 8.5-inch side. And I'm going to score this at 5.5, which is half of the 11. This is a little bit unusual orientation for me, but I thought it might be fun to do something a little out of my comfort zone. All right. So just going to give that a press. I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to stamp on this. So I'm going to take the leaf and blossom pattern from the Sweet Strawberry stamp set. And I'm going to ink this up in Memento. Give that a good inking. And I'm going to try not to drop it. And then I'm going to place this right about here and give it a good press. Let that ink soak into the paper. And then I'm going to re-ink it again. And then I'm going to add this piece, the second one, right over the top of my bottom flower here. And I'm going to give that a press. Excuse me. And again, I'm going to let that soak into my paper. So this is what I have. And yes, I realize that's not pretty, but that's not going to be a problem for us in just a moment. We're going to start by coloring our leaves. So we're going to use some Stampin' Blends. We're going to use light and dark shaded spruce. And we're going to color our flowers in dark and light pale papaya. So I'm going to start with the light. Oh, and I learned this trick the other day, so I'm going to show this to you, this tip. I'm going to take that off of there. All right, that'll get that off. If you use your silicone mat, it will keep your ink on your cardstock wet longer so that it will blend better. So I'm just going to color the leaves in with the light shaded spruce. And as you can see, I'm just giving them a quick color. Now I'm only going to color one set at a time because I want to ensure that when I go back with my dark shaded spruce, and you can tell I'm just scribbling this on. I'm not being particularly careful. And you can tell how that has already started to blend. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm happy with it. I'm going to go to my light again. You could go back and go over that with the light. If you like. I'm just going to give these a very quick coloring. And you notice how I'm rotating my paper. Okay. I'm going to go back to my light again. How is everyone surviving the heat? Thank goodness here in Sheridan it has cooled off way down. It is in the low 80s. The wind is blowing like crazy. And I am happy for the respite from that oppressing heat. Man, that was hot. I know my mom said we were down in the 80s, and Mom's in Dallas, and she said it was still 101 over there. I'll bet you are done with the heat, Mary. I don't know anybody who loves it this hot. This is crazy. Hopefully you have air conditioning so you survived it okay. Okay. All right, so that's all our leaves. Now I'm going to start with my light pale papaya on my flowers. And I am really on these not going to be too careful because I am going to cover most of them up anyway. So I'm just giving them a light coat of the light, and then I'm going to go back and take my dark. And really these two little ones are the most important ones. And I'm just going to work a little bit of dark in the center. And I'll do the same here just in case these show where my flowers are raised. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so there's our coloring done with those. So we can set this aside. And then we're going to take a scrap piece of white. And we're going to get a little block and the pale papaya ink. We're going to put some ink on our pale papaya, or on our block. And then we're going to take some Memento black, and we're going to remove my other stamps that I don't need at the moment off of these tiny blocks that I do need. I'm going to grab the detailed and the fill-in little blossoms from the stamp set. That's this one and this one. And actually, I don't need the fill-in one. I just need the detail. What was I thinking? You could use that detail and make it quicker. Okay, so when you are stamping with a builder punch, keep your builder punch close to you so you can see what orientation you need to stamp on to make it the easiest for you. So I'm going to start on this end so that I can slide this easily into my punch from this end. And this has the two petals at a little angle like this. So I'm just going to do this, and I need 4 of them. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Wink Stella pen, and I'm going to take this block, and I'm going to take my Wink Stella. I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper just to keep, and then I'm going to wipe off the very first, and then I'm just going to spread this out, and this is going to fill in my flowers and give me the shimmer. Okay, now remember this is just basic white cardstock, so if you go over it too many times, it will pill. The fibers of the paper will if they get too wet. So we're just giving it a quick color here. Okay. And then when we're done, we just wipe our brush off. And we're good to go there. I'll set that aside before I stick it in. And then we'll see if you can see that. I might need to turn some lights on. It seems like it's awfully dark in here. But it is 76 degrees in the studio, so I've avoided lights. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the shimmer on there, but there we go. So now we can just put this into our punch, like so. line that up, punch it out. And then we have our 4 flowers. Okay, so we've got those. Let's clean up all of our scraps out of the way here. All right, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to take my dark pale papaya blend and I'm just going to color in the center here, just to make that stand out a little bit more. I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat and my Take Your Pick tool, which is worth its weight in gold. This little tool is only $10. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to leave that cap on. I'm just going to push down with the end of the tip of my cap here and give my flowers a little bit of dimension. Okay. We're going to add those to our card layer here with some glue dots. So I'm just going to put those in the center of the cup, or I'm going to attempt to put them in the center of the cup. Then I'm going to add these right to my project here. And you could take your flower to the glue dot. I'm not very accurate on finding my center, and I really want them in the center when I got these cupped. Okay. All right, give those a quick press. All right, so we are almost done with our card front. So we're going to add this to our card front. I'm just going to do that with some Stampin' Seal. Center this on here as best as I can. Okay, and then I'll recut my flowers a little bit. I'm going to go back with my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer to my smaller flowers here. And now what we need is a sentiment. Okay. So for our sentiment, we are going to use the Thank You from the Sweet Strawberry. So I'm going to put that on our block, and I like to lay mine on the grid paper, get it all straightened up, and then pick it up with my block. And I am going to take a piece of Whisper White, or Basic White, that is a 1/2 inch. And I don't, let's see, I might need to cut one down here. Yep. Okay, give me a 1/2 inch. And that's a 1/2 inch by 3 1/8. So to get it a 1/2 inch on a small piece of paper like this, I like to line it up on the left hand or the right hand side of the cutting area, right along that line to ensure that I've got it straight. And then I'll close my hinge and then I'll get a straight cut. That's just a tip for you. Okay, then I need this to be 3.5 inches. So take this in, chop it off. And then I'm going to use the Magenta black on this. I'm going to ink up my sentiment. I'm going to stamp this down right in the middle. Hopefully. Let that sit on my paper for a second to absorb. Beautiful. Now to finish this off, I'm going to take the banner Pick-a-Bunch. And I'm going to slide this into the banner in the Easy Track. This one has 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch. I'll tip it over just to make sure I'm all the way to the end. Give that a punch. Then I'm going to turn it around. Do the same thing. And now I have my sentiment strip all ready to go. Turn that over with some dimensionals. And for this, I'm going to use 3. Bring back in my card front. And I'm going to place this right here. Like so. Okay, there's the front of our card. For the inside of our card, I've already done another piece just like the front with that designer series paper and the white. So then I'm going to take and get my inside sentiment here. Actually, let's go here. Let's put this up here from the bottom. Do that in black. And I'm just going to leave this. Oops. Let me clean that off before I have a mess. And then clean my fingers off. I'm going to ink this up again. And like I said, I'm just going to leave this one black and white. I'm just going to stamp this down here in the corner. Let that absorb into the paper. And then I'll be able to write my message here. So I'll add this. To the inside of our card, and the inside will be just as pretty as the outside. All right, there we go. Now for our envelope, I just took and stamped 2 of the flower blossoms just to coordinate. I could take and add a piece of that black and white. In fact, I think I will, because I'm not sure. Well, no, my 2-inch leftover strip won't fit. But let's grab another, because we have quite a bit of those papers. Because those come, you get 4 sheets. let's cut this one to 6. And then we'll cut it to 2 1/4. We'll do your flap. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab another envelope. We'll add this to our flap with some liquid glue. I'm going to put down my silicone sheet just to make sure that I don't end up with glue on my work surface. And I'm just running a real thin bead. I don't want glue to ooze out anywhere. So it's just a super fine bead. Need a little bit more up there at that edge to hold that in. And then we'll set this on here at the crease. The fold. And we'll give that a press. Scooch that up just a bit. I like to take my bone folder and spread out that glue. And I'll take my paper snips. Snip along that edge. And now we have a matching envelope. Okay. So here is our first card. I'll let you look at that while I do a little bit of cleanup so we can move on to the next card. Oh, you know what I forgot? We're not quite finished with the front. We need the genial gems. I thought these were beautiful. They come in the pale papaya. You get pale papaya and mint macaron. And I am just going to put those in the centers of my larger flowers. And I'm using the smaller ones. All right, there we go. That gives it a little extra sparkle. Okay, let me clean some of these stamps because I'm going to need some blocks. And if I clean these off, then I can just stamp down what I need. So we're going to need to take those off of there so I can put my next little ones on. So they're ready to go. There we go. It seems like I never have enough blocks. I have 2 complete sets and I never have enough blocks. All right. Okay, so let's move on to our next project. Set that one aside. And our next one is quite a bit simpler. We're going to start with a card base in Magenta Madness. Again, we're going to use 2 pieces of the Pattern Party Designer Series Paper Host Pack. I've cut 2 of the largest Stitch So Sweetly dies in basic white, and then we need some scraps for stamping in basic white. And then I have, oh, I don't need that because I changed my inside. All right. So for inks, we're going to use the Just Jade and Magenta Madness inks. And then I am going to pull in again this week. I'm going to pull in the Paper Pumpkin, June Paper Pumpkin stamp. And we're going to use this alcohol ink stamp again. So I really like that. So we can go ahead, fold our card base, and score that with the bone folder. Give that a nice tight crease. And I'm going to go ahead and add my Designer Series paper. To the front with some Stampin' Seal. Center that up. I'm going to add this to the inside of my card. And then we're going to do some stamping. So for our inside piece, we're going to stamp a strawberry. We're going to stamp the detailed stamp that I do with my scrap paper. And the Magenta Madness. And I'm going to take my fill-in stamp and I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm going to add it in here. Okay? And then I'm going to set this aside. All right. Then I'm going to take a piece of basic white, and this is about 1.5 inches. And I need 3 strawberries. And again, because I'm using the strawberry builder punch, I'm going to look at my punch to see how I need to orient it to punch it. So I'm going to stamp my detail stamp first. Then I'm going to flip my paper and I'm going to stamp it again. And then I'm going to stamp it in the middle. And I don't want to get too close because if I do, my flower is going to punch into my middle strawberry. Okay? So again, I'm going to take my strawberry and I'm going to stamp off and on, and off, and on, and stamp it again. All right. So I'm done with, oh, no, I'm not. I need one more strawberry and I'm going to stamp that while I'm at it on my envelope while I've got everything inked up. So again, I'm going to take my detailed strawberry stamping off again and on. Okay, so that's done. We have all of our strawberries. I'm going to go ahead and clean that really quickly because Magenta Madness stains like crazy. Not that that affects the stamp, but too much buildup is not that good for me. All right, so we can put those aside. Those are done. Then we're going to need, this strip is an inch, and I think that's wide enough. Yep. Okay, so when we're orienting this into the punch, I'm going to punch from this end first. So I need to stamp here first. Now we need 5 stems. Okay, so I'm not going to make you watch me stamp them all, but I do have 2 because I wanted to show you this. I'm taking this, and while I do this, now for my last stem, I'm going to put it on my envelope, and I need it to lay totally flat. So I'm going to take a piece of our adhesive sheet along with a piece of the basic white, and I'm going to peel this off. And I'm going to add it to my cardstock. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp my leaf. And again, whoop, this is falling off my block. And again, I'm going to stamp off. No, actually, I liked this one full strength. So I'm going to line that up, stamp that down, and I'm going to stamp this down. All right. So those are our pieces, because I already have three stems completed. So we're going to take our punch, and I'm going to first put our leaf in. I like to do it this way. I have better control. You can do it this way if that makes you, or this way if you think that's easier. I just think it's easier for me to handle it up and down. I have more control. I can lean it against the table and give it a push. And then I have those. So those are for my card. And then this one, oh, wait a minute. That's the one with the adhesive backing. This one's for my card. Okay, so now I have the 4 that I need for my card, and I have the one that I need for my envelope. So we're done with the punch. Oh, no, we're not. I gotta punch out my strawberries. Silly me. Okay, so here you can see what I'm talking about. If you get your your strawberry too close, you'll end up punching into your strawberry. So you want to make sure that you put enough room there so that you don't ruin your strawberry. All right. Orient that punch a little better. Punch that out. And now we have our pieces. Okay, and you could use those flowers for another project if you want to. Okay. So the last thing that we need to do is stamp on our front. So we need to stamp our sentiment first so that we know where to put the rest of our things. Okay, what did I do with the Just Jade? Oh, I put it away. That was silly. Okay, so I'm going to take the sentiment, happy birthday, you sweet thing. But I don't really want the happy birthday, you sweet thing. I just want happy birthday. So I'm going to take a piece of Post-it tape. This is the 1/3 of an inch Post-it tape. And I'm going to put this right along my sentiment. I'm going to put my nail right down there in between. Tear that off. Give that a good push in there. And then I can ink up my stamp. Okay. Then of course I'm going to pull off my Post-it tape, because if I don't, it's going to be a disaster. And I'm going to have to start my area over again. Get that inky thing off my hand. And then I'm just going to put this down in the center on the bottom. And again, I'm going to let that ink absorb into the paper. All right. Now I'm going to take the alcohol ink stamp from the paper pumpkin. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to kind of set my strawberries where I think I want them. Okay, and I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to rotate it again, almost making a circle. And it's okay if I don't have ink right in the center, because that's going to be covered by my strawberries. Okay, so now we can add, that's our stickered one. We're going to add our stems to our strawberry. And again, to do that, I'm going to grab my silicone mat so I don't get ink all over my work surface. Oh my goodness. And I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on these bottom two areas of my stem. And then I'm just going to put those along the top like so. And one more. And then this will be the last one for the front of our card. I'll set those aside for a minute. And I'm going to bring back in the inside of my card. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on those two. And I'm going to pop this on the inside, just like so. Okay. And this is ready to add to the inside of our card. Now, for our envelope, we're going to take this piece that we put the adhesive on. I'm going to peel that adhesive off. If you just run your finger over the edge, it will separate and pop. But of course, it's not going to do it easily for me. It started to come, but it's not. Come on. Of course, when you're on camera, it doesn't want to do it easily for you. Oh my goodness. There we go. Whew. And then I'll pop this on, and this will stick completely. I'm going to give that a good press, and then it won't come up later. All right, so there's our envelope, complete. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this to our card. I'm just going to dry fit these how I want them to be. I want to keep them all within the boundary and try to leave a little green space around them. I'm going to pick up my first strawberry. I'm going to glue this one down flat. And here, like so. I'll go to my second one, and I'm going to get a Stampin' Dimensional. And I'm going to put 2 on there. I'm going to pop this one in here like that. And then with this one, I'm just going to put 1 Stampin' Dimensional on the right and a little bit of glue on the left. And put that right there like so. And then this is ready to add to our card front. So I'm going to do that with Stampin' Dimensionals. Yeah, I hear you, little man. And I like to use a... No. Caleb, come get the cat. He wants to be in the Facebook Live.
You want me to close your door?
No, because then it will get super hot.
It's not that hot outside.
Yeah, but it's 76 degrees in my studio. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just put this. Center that up. This is a little bit easier with this designer series paper because you can pretty much count the squares. This will go on our inside. Like so, we can write our message there. And then we have our matching envelope, and that is our second card. All complete. So what do you think? Hi, Lynette. Hello, Tracy. Glad to see you here. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm glad you liked the card. I'm going to bring that second card back in, or the first card that we made in. They're a little on the simpler side for me, but I think they turned out really nicely. I was very happy with them. I hope that they inspire you to make something of your own. If you have this bundle, feel free to case. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I will be back again next Monday night with another Facebook Live at 7:45. Does anybody have any questions? I'll wait just a minute before I sign off to see if there's any. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate that. All right, if you need to order any supplies, feel free to do that at teresaharper.stampinup.net. And I will see everybody back here next Monday. Hope you can join me. Good night. Stay cool and be crafty. Good night.